Hi, so we're starting in a few minutes. This one is special because this is about self-driven cars. I've always wanted to do something on Zoom car. I've covered it a lot. Um, we have with us Pushpita today. Rishabh will be joining in tomorrow due to time clashes. Pushpita happens to be a business journalist, but also a host of Zoom car who actually had a lot of trouble back in December. And here we're going to expose the NASDAQ listed company and its issues. I mean, for the people I know, it's been a great experience, but for Pushpita, it's not been great. So we're just waiting for her to be on the call. I would be looking at some comments as well. If you guys talk, then please mention to us, and we will like to speak to you. So yes, invited you all to YouTube. Please post in your comments. We would love to talk to you. Pushpita, how are you? Just give me 1 minute. I think there is a lag in the audio. Yes, boss. Please speak something. Let me check if you can hear me, as if I can hear you.
Um, you are audible. Is my voice okay?
Yes. Your voice is also audible now.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pushpita, for being here. I mean, मेरे छोटे से चैनल की शान बढ़ा दी आपने.
ऐसी कोई बात
And
नहीं है.
yes, one is going live on YouTube, which is why, and it's not an issue, it's a freewheeling conversation that we're having here. So, Pushpita, I mean, a lot has been happening, you know. You have joined a wonderful new organization. I think you've been there before as well. So, it's like a ghar wapsi of sorts for you.
Everybody
And
is saying that. It's like homecoming.
good. मोदी के थर्ड टर्म तक घर वापसियां होनी चाहिए. Okay, this is very political, very controversial. I've been full of controversies. But okay, let's bring the focus back to the topic that we are addressing here today. So we did the Byju's expose. I had a person talking about their experience, and all of us have covered Byju's at some point of our careers. Um, Another very pertinent issue that I have faced is with Zoom car. So I'll just kind of give a context. Zoom car is a self-driven rental, and you can, like an OYO, you can have a room to yourselves. You can have a car to yourselves when you are on Zoom car. This is great for people, the Gen Z generation, which does not know how to save, just does not know how to invest, does not know how to buy a car or a house. The has been very against us. She said कि इन लोगों ने Ola Uber कर करके Zoom कर करके they've sunken the whole auto industry. Having said that, what Zoom really offers is the freedom to make a road trip
Hmm.
But at the same time, it also lets owners like probably Pushpita to let their car on rent. कि
Hmm.
घर में पड़ी हुई है, मेरे को तो
Hmm.
कम्यूट मिल ही रहा है, मेरा वर्क
Hmm.
फ्रॉम होम चल रहा है, चलो कोई चला ले.
Right.
But Pushpita has had a very terrible experience, and so have the others who have covered in the past. But here I would open the forum for Pushpita to speak about her ordeal with Zoomcar. And Zoomcar, by the way, is NASDAQ listed. So it's very, very important for us to call out such companies if there has been a problem. So, yes, Pushpita, over to you.
Yes, so as you mentioned that we have all heard about Zoom Cup. I mean, since we were in colleges, I remember I was in Pune and then I was in Mumbai during my college life. We have all heard about the company, like how it's convenient for Gen Z and youngsters who can't afford a car. And also we got to know about the host, Zoom car host. So of course, I mean, I was also like I was under the impression like if my car is not being used too frequently, so let's just put it on Zoom car host. And so I did that. I think I should have actually did a little bit of Google and gone through the experiences people had with Zoom car before, which unfortunately I didn't because we I was under the impression because Zoom was a brand name by then, so we usually don't tend to check the accountability or we don't check like how what is the experience of people if the brand name is already there and we have heard the brand name quite a while now. So yeah, I put up my car on Zoom car and I remember it was a Sunday, so the guest picked it from my place and he was supposed to return it to me by evening, somewhere around 5:30 or 6. So I was okay with the I mean with the kind of booking I got. So, and he took it from my place. Then after it was 5:30, I got notification on my Zoom Car Host app that the guest wanted to keep it for a longer time. So he will like return by 7:30 or 8. So again, I called the host and he told me, yes, yes, we were just stuck with something. I'll get it, I'll return it by like within a couple of hours. I was like, okay, it makes sense since it's a Sunday and I don't have to go out also. It went on and on and on, and it was 12:30 at night, and I still didn't have the car. And I got the notification that the host will return the car by 1. And then I started getting a little skeptical. I mean, now I had some fears in mind, like, what is happening? Like, if okay, I understand there could be some delay. Then I called the host, and sorry, I called the guest, and I was the host there. I'm sorry, I might have made a mistake. So, in saying, I was the host there. The guest who took the car. I again called him, and then he stopped picking up my calls. After really like calling him again and again, dropping message. I think after it was around, it was midnight, like around 12:45 or 1:15, something around that time. He told me that he is still in Rohini and it's quite far from my place. It will take him some time to return my car. I said that doesn't work because you were supposed to return my car by 1. He said, "Don't worry, I'll give it back to you by 2:30." I said, "No, you can't. You have the booking timing till 1." And the worst part is that Zoom card doesn't have a customer support system. So when I didn't get my car and when I figured out that the guest was not responding to my messages and calls and all, of course, I wanted to have a word with the support team, but then I figured out the number that is not working. I mean, when we just search for Zoom card support number, the number doesn't work. And if you go to the the support chat window they have, they also stop. That's just there is no human interaction as such. That is just a bot. So it is technically of no use. Then I asked my host, then I asked my guest that can you please send me the location? Where are you? Then he sent me one location, but what he did, he sent me the location and then he switched off his phone. So that makes any sense. So I could see that car was standing at one point for like probably few, I mean, from 12:30 till 2:30 to 45 at night.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the same place. So I realized
Hmm.
that when he just shared the location, then he switched off his phone. There is no
Yeah.
point in sharing such location, right?
Hmm.
It was already by then 2:40, 2:30. Of course, I couldn't dare to go out. Like, I mean, I can't
Yeah.
go at 2:30 at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. No.
And I think it was it was winter. It was still in cold winter night in Delhi.
Oh my God, Delhi winters are the worst. I mean,
Yeah.
you just cannot. Being a woman, first of all, in India, and then in
Yes.
a place like Delhi, and then in the cold winters, and you are the person who's rented the car. I mean, Zoom car should be responsible towards you, like Olo
Yes.
is towards the hotels. And I mean, this person is so fishy.
Yes. So that happened. And then I kept calling. Of course, I kept calling at 2:30 to 45 at night. I can't even dare to go out, even if I could
Yeah.
access the live location. So Zoom car also has this location tracking thing happening. Okay, so I think that gets activated. I don't know the exact time, but that I think that gets activated once the host doesn't get back the car. So uh, I can't comment exactly since when it got activated. But when I opened again in the morning, I so from the app, I got the location from Zoomcar app using that tracking thing, and it was showing that the tracking will be live only for the next, I think, 1 hour or something like that. So I could see that. I mean, the when I could track through the Zoom host app, it was showing me
Mm-hmm.
the tracking will be live for the next, I
Mm-hmm.
think, till 10 9:30 or 10:30. Like I just had an hour or so or 45 minutes when I could actually see the location.
Hmm.
Then I again call. It was I think it was 7:30 or 8 in the morning. I kept calling. I kept calling, and he was not picking up the call. The person who took my car. And finally, what happened was he picked up the call, and then I called one of my friends, and I asked him like I could see my live. I mean, I could see the location of the car. Can you please come with me because if since I could track it for the next for probably next an hour, and it will take me almost 35 40 minutes to reach that spot. And he was like, yeah, yeah, sure, please. I'll also. He came to my place, and both of us started for that where the location was showing. So when we were about to start, then I got a call from the guest who had taken my car, and then he told me that the car is in a shattered condition, the axle is broken, the airbags have come out and stuff. So we have left the car on the street and we have come back. And I'm like, how irresponsible of you to do that. I mean, you took the car, and then he is like, no, no, we have informed Zoom car support system. And
Harms me. It's my car. Oh my God, this person. It's like
yeah,
I would have worse words for them.
so I was like, I mean, you took the car. No, no, I have to pay extra 10,000 because of this. I have already informed Zoom support. I have already mailed them.
मेरी
So
लाखों की
now,
गाड़ी है and तुम्हारे को 10,000 की पड़ी है. What the hell is
exactly.
wrong with
So, and then I was like, doesn't make any difference because you took the car from me and you kept telling me that you will be returning the car. And now I am going to the police station to lodge a complaint. And when I said that, then he actually told that no, no, I have actually informed Zoom car. What I realized later on, he has not actually even informed Zoom support system about the incident. Okay, when I
why
told
would he
him,
why would he कोई अपनी complaint क्यों ही करेगा? He is the one at fault. No,
yeah,
he will have to pay, he will have to answer some questions.
and then when I said that I'm going to the police station to lodge a complaint, then he actually probably dropped a mail to the Zoom because when we were about to leave, then I got a message from Zoom card, like that bot thing. So there is a Zoom card WhatsApp number, which is like all the auto-generated messages that your car has met with some accident. Please take your car to the nearby garage, listed garage. We will like that was a complete auto-generated message. Then I realized, okay, now he might have just reported the accident, and that's why I'm getting this auto-generated message from Zoom. So till then, he has not actually reported to Zoom. I went to the police station. I told them so and so has happened. The person who was there in the police station, he called that person. I mean, the guest. And he is like, actually, I have left for Hyderabad. I am not in Delhi anymore. I'm like, what is this? Again,
Quite
then,
convenient. Quite convenient.
of course. And also when I kept, and what police told me that, so I again went to the spot and I went to the nearest police station, which was the nearest one from the spot where I found my car. It was in absolute shattered conditions. I in fact put out a post on LinkedIn where how I found my car. Like both the airbags have popped out, the glasses are broken, the
I
axle is
remember that
broken.
photo, Pushpita. I saw that photo, and that is when I got my story idea. When I covered
Yeah.
Zoom, I uncovered the story. I spoke to a lot of people who had a similar encounter. So, one of my friends, he is a corporate communicator today. He also shared how his car, I mean, he was at the guest side and he
Hmm.
was given a car which was in a shabby condition. He had something off and he tried to fix it on his own also, like apna mechanic bula ke, but the host did not have the courtesy to actually tell. And in that state, what happened was he was at the Mumbai highway, and you know
Hmm.
how Mumbai roads are.
Hmm.
गाड़ी जाम हो गई. आप सोचिए how much of anxiety a person will have. And a
Definitely.
similar cases happened with Spinny. I was in the same car with a colleague, and this person was driving, and he had just learned how to drive. He was
Hmm.
lamenting his decision of buying a second-hand car, and suddenly the car, this is a Renault Kwid, and it stops. We are towed home, you know. We were 5 hours on the road and हमको tow करके ले गए हैं. हमने ऊपर से 1500 रुपए दिए to be towed. It was a very stupid experience that we had. So I mean, what I really want to say at this is that you were a responsible host. You gave the car in a very top notch condition, and this guest acted so. I mean, I only have unparliamentary words for him, but this is distasteful and very derogatory behavior. It's deplorable how this person had the audacity to not really, I mean, be not just ठीक है गलती हुई for
Hmm.
whatever reason you slammed the car. अपनी गाड़ी होती ना कभी ये नहीं करता
Hmm.
because आपकी गाड़ी थी and Zoom car का shoddy interface and everything. Now I want to know, as do I believe the guests as well, what really happened from Zoom? I mean, did they resolve your issue? Because last I remember they were quite unresponsive. They were just
Yeah.
replying to your LinkedIn posts, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there was any concrete action. So just want to
No.
hear that part of the story
No,
now.
that was not a concrete. There was no concrete action till date. And what I figured out later on, like Zoom doesn't take any accountability. I mean, I came across a lot of other posts on this various social media platforms, both from the guest and the host side. Like they don't behave responsibly at all. So, so this thing happened, and the police told me actually that we can't do anything. So there was this one incident. So Zoom doesn't have any office in Delhi NCR, so we don't know whom to get in touch with. There is no single spokesperson, or there is no point of contact. So all this incident happened somewhere at night. Probably I got to know in the morning. I reached the place at 8. I got a call at noon from Zoom saying we got to know that you have met your car got into some this accident. So would you like us to to take the car to a garage and do the repair work? And I said, by when will I get that? And they said within 24 to 48 hours we can arrange that. I'm like, my car will be on road at this condition for the next 48 hours. And then I asked, "Well, till I mean, what will be the location of the garage?" Then they said it's in Gurgaon. And Gurgaon is almost like 50-55 kilometers, if not more. Like actually more. I stay in towards Noida. The Gurgaon is like very, very far. I said, so one was that. Then I said, no, I have already contacted your listed garage through the app. So they have the listed garage where you can take the car, where they supposedly, I mean, they were supposed to pay the repair, uh, pay for the repair if you take the car to that garage. So I said that I have already posted this image to the to that chat box where to one of the listed garage, and I got a call from one of the listed garage which is near my place, and I'm taking that car to that place. They said, okay, fine, you take that car to the place and all. And I said, how can you just reimburse to me? Just let me know. They said, okay, fine, you take that to the garage and we will see. Again, we had to make all the arrangements to tow the car from that place to the garage, so-called Zoom listed garage. They took the car, and so far there has, I mean, Zoom just kept saying, okay, we will take action, we will take action, we will help you out and stuff. Nothing happened. That day there was still some calls and emails. After that, they just completely ghosted me. Completely ghosted me. Okay. Every time I mail, there'll be some response that, okay, we will let you know in someday. We will let you know by the end of the day. We will let you know. I got calls from Zoom. Yeah, we will try. We are trying to fix some stuff. Then after that, the garage told me that, so this is a complete lost case because Zoom won't be paying for this much. We have cars in our garage parked here for 2 months, 3 months or more. So Zoom will consider it as a total loss and they won't pay for a repair. I was still waiting for Zoom to reply, and Zoom sent me a message saying after like almost 2, 3 weeks later. Okay, Zoom sent me a message that sent me a mail saying that this is a total loss case. We won't pay for it. Don't want to carry the repair work. So we will give you a compensation of something around 65,000 or something. I don't remember
What?
exactly. Yes.
What?
Yeah. And then what happened was, uh, the garage told me that the estimated cost for the repair work was around 2.9 lakh or sorry, around 3 lakh. Okay. And I said, like, your garage is giving me an estimate of almost like 3 lakh, and you are asking and you are telling that you will pay only 65,000. Okay. And the fun part is they haven't even paid me that. Okay. They told
And
me,
it's been close to 7 to 8 months now.
yeah, they said that, okay, we will pay and stuff. And then I said, like, 65. Then again, I replied, I mailed them. They said, like, you want to accept it or not, tell us by the end of the day. Of course, I mean, within, I think they gave something of 7 days or 8 days of time limit. And of course, I can't agree to that. Okay. I was talking to my lawyer and stuff. We sent a legal notice also. Like, my lawyer sent a legal notice. Like, they absolutely didn't care. Okay. And then when I mailed them, okay, fine, send me that money also. Again, they ghosted. They will be like, okay, we will get back to you after something. We'll let you know after, by the end of the day and stuff. They didn't. Till date, I haven't received a penny from Zoom. On top, even willing to release my
They are
car.
overdue.
Sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. Go on.
Okay. And even what was the worst was, so the so-called the Zoom listed garage, they were not even willing to release my car because they have not got the payment from Zoom. Okay, so they didn't start any repair work. So of course, so the car was just parked there for like months. And then they were like, so when I said, okay, like just I want to take it back and I want to take it to the garage where I can do the repair work myself. Then the garage was like, no, we won't let you take the car until you make the complete payment on behalf of Zoom. The parking. So it has been parked here for almost, it was almost 2 months in the course of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 months. So we won't let you take the car unless we got an official mail from the Zoom that we can let you take the car. We won't let you take the car. Else you pay us, I think 30,000 or 35,000 or something like that. And they didn't let me take the car. They didn't let me take the car. They were forcing me. We have given you the estimate. You have to get the repair work done from here. Okay, I think I was wrong. I think they told me more than 3 lakh it was. I don't remember the exact amount.
3 lakh, my God, 3 lakh जेब में लेके घूमते हैं क्या हम
Huh.
journalists? I
No,
mean,
no,
you
more
know
than
that.
that. More than that. Okay.
Oh God.
And then I was like, no, I was not supposed to pay. No, you took the car here. You have to pay. I said, talk to Zoom. Give me my car back.
Yeah.
They didn't let me take my car. All the arguments and stuff happened. Finally, I paid them 30,000, back to 30,000 to get my car. And when I said them give me a receipt, they didn't give me a receipt. They gave me a receipt without GST number and all. Okay. Now I'm like, what is this bill for? That bill doesn't make any sense. You don't have any GST number. You don't have any. This is just like I can make a random invoice and send it to anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't send that. And when I put up on the Google reviews that this garage is a pathetic place, Zoom has like
You would have
Zoom would,
deleted it. Yeah.
they didn't delete it. They called me and started threatening me. Okay,
That's
like,
the thing with women ना हम इतना सा कुछ करते हैं हमें threats ही पड़ते हैं.
hmm,
But Pushpita, I also read that you had approached the authorities like the Delhi Traffic Corporation or somebody,
yes.
and was there anything that they did for this?
So so as a journalist, it triggered me like this can't go on. So I actually wanted to work on a story. I was doing my background research. So and I after this incident, I came across a lot of other incidents, be it from the side of guest, be it from the side of host.
Yeah.
So when I went to the transport department of Delhi government, they
Mm-hmm.
actually told me that. So I also read after a few weeks that Delhi government has banned Zoom car, and I think there was another company, I am forgetting the name, who followed similar kind of business model. So the story was how. So I was actually planning for a story which later on I dropped because people will think, okay, it's of personal interest. You know that I mean, being a victim myself, I can't just work on a story like that. But I
But very
really,
frankly, I felt so bad reading your post because for that minute ना it just felt कि मेरी गाड़ी को भी ऐसा हो सकता था.
हाँ,
And
हाँ,
मेरी सेफ्टी को भी ऐसा हो सकता था like because I have rented a Zoom car with my partner and it was like one of the cars which there was an AC issue, there was a handbrake issue, and even the wheels were not clean enough. And it's not a good experience because
hmm,
where it's not even a small amount for the guest. Host के लिए तो obviously इतना बड़ा investment है. It's almost like giving your home on rent and then
hmm,
opening the door and seeing that somebody has cigarette butts all over and they've
hmm,
burnt your bed sheets and they've kind of soiled the walls and everything. It's like पैसा है पता है मतलब अगर वो गाड़ी चलो आपको गिफ्ट भी मिले पेरेंट्स से विच आई एम श्योर कि आपकी अपनी भी कमाई है एंड अपना मेंटेन है अपना सब चीज है एंड it's just kind of very sad that such a service is started with so good hopes. Even Zoom would have
hmm.
started, but I mean, I'm not just pointing out to Indians because there are issues all over the world of such nature. But as but guests and hosts, there needs to be a civic sense, just
Right.
put yourself in somebody's shoes. Okay, what if it was you, and
Hmm,
what if it was, I mean. It happened to you. It is just so deplorable. And when you talk about the garage incident, I will tell you that this person, my colleague, when he went to Spinny, the car was bought for around 3 lakhs, and this was Renault Kwidka, first model 2018. I think he was overcharged, number one. Second thing was that even if he tries to sell the car, he will only get 1.5 lakhs, which is not a good
hmm,
amount.
hmm,
And when he gave it to the garage, because there is this some gear issue there was, ऐसे orange light आता है, उसको कुछ ये बड़ा complicated सा term होता है. Now, the thing with automatic cars is they're very easy to drive, like reverse, neutral, D
hmm,
ऐसे knob से चलती है, but the mechanic has to be somebody who knows technology and just not
hmm,
your mechanical mechanic, right?
hmm,
So the garage is Renault ka hi garage in Haryana, and then they charge a 19,000, and this person is like, "मैं दे दूंगा because Spinny is not listening to me. I will give the 19,000." Now he refused to speak to me about this issue and like on this channel because he said कि अभी भी मेरा issue resolve हुआ नहीं है. So I don't want to pull and Spinny, but I am sharing my experience that I have been to the garage, I have been stuck in the car, and it's not a happy feeling, because
hmm,
whenever you subscribe to a place, suppose you and I go to an Oyo and we get a very bad room, हम क्या बोलेंगे? हम मैसेज ही करेंगे ना सीधे. We will be
hmm.
tagging with Agarwal that okay, this is happening. मेरा तो Zomato order late होता है, मैं दीपेंद्र गोयल को टैग कर चुकी हूँ एक दो बार. So it's like that is the power of consumerism. But
Right.
when companies just ignore this and they're
Hmm,
like, okay, we should just kind of go and do our thing, it's just not accountable, because no matter how much of performance marketing we have today, there is something called word of mouth. I will believe in a service when you tell me that it's good.
right. Right.
And with women that's more prevalent. I've seen as a trend. Men like to try out things, women also like to try out things, but often for many people it's about the word of mouth. So I
Hmm.
mean this is a very big reputation crisis, because any product, if they cannot get their service right,
Hmm.
then you're failed. I mean फिर तो कुछ है ही नहीं.
Right. Right. And what I was going when I was going through the reports and also what I learned is that previously Zoom had their own cars that they used
Mm-hmm.
to put out on rent, like self-driven. I mean, so Zoom has their own set of cars, but this entire model of having host and then renting out is, I think, is also not completely valid. I'm not the right person to comment on that, because I remember there were a couple of media reports, and I think Indian Express also carried that how the concept of renting out private vehicles out on rent is not acceptable. There are some legal loopholes and all. Again, given that aside, I believe Zoom, we knew the brand name Zoom for quite a while now.
Hmm.
And if we have complaints, and I came across posts not only that, so I as a host had a pathetic experience, but I came across several other posts where, like you mentioned, guests also have a lot of bad experiences, which I don't know whom shall we rely on in that matter, because I don't know the guest
The
whosoever.
aggregate is not fair, right?
Hmm.
And I read those cases where people had beers in the car and they were caught, and then registry किसी और के नाम पे है. मैं तो ये सोच के अपनी गाड़ी रेंट पे ही ना दूं कभी भी. Because what if there is a house that I have and I put it on rent and somebody is dealing with drugs there? They've
Yes.
registered my house there. I mean, this way, as a human, who will I trust? I
Yeah.
cannot trust a company. I cannot trust an aggregator. Government, police, law, everybody is, I mean, just scattered. So,
True.
I mean, and as an owner, suppose I come up with a brilliant model like Zoom, I can't even execute it because मैंने तो loopholes ही नहीं consider किए
Hmm.
कि ये भी हो
Definitely.
सकता है. It's pretty deplorable, I mean, now we have platforms like Droom, and Rishabh would have been a great, like I'll have an analysis with him tomorrow morning because of
Hmm.
the time clash. The thing is that he has also covered portals like, there was this app which Car Dekho had recently acquired. This was a Gurgaon based model only. There are a lot of self-driven cars. There's a lot of this whole scenario and spectrum. So
Hmm.
the fact of the matter being that such forums like the second-hand cars, we
Hmm.
really, really to see where we're going with this, and if the people are safe here, if
Hmm.
they are actually, I mean, they are getting the best of the service. We
Right.
really, really need to look into that. So yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I heard a lot of cases are still pending. People are still waiting for their amount. I mean, to the for the money. Guests are also. I mean, guests are also very. I mean, very frustrated with the kind of service. And I'm pretty surprised, like, how come a company like Zoom, which really has the brand name in this particular domain, are still not taking into consideration this kind of complaints, and God knows how long this will go on actually. And people will continue to suffer after a point.
Of course. Sorry, I was moderating another some comment or what. The
Mm.
point is that such services are help to people. Like auto has been a very favorite of Indians. Like there are a lot of flexible EMI options. And if we've all watched Jawan, we know that we can buy a Mercedes at a lower rate than like a tractor.
Mm.
But and such cars like Zoom, okay, I might have a 10,000 rupees budget for a road trip. I can invest in that rather than investing 1.5, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs into a car. But I mean, have you covered Zoom lately? Have you seen how they're doing at NASDAQ, if they've done something about the issues? Your issue hasn't been resolved. I really don't know what others have been
No,
facing.
mine hasn't been resolved. On the contrary, I see a lot more such cases coming up. So I keep checking the kind of customer feedback. So be it on LinkedIn, be it on Twitter, I see a lot many people being very frustrated with the kind of service they have. Although I haven't seen and I have not exactly tracked how they are performing in terms of, on Nasdaq. Although I came across a report, I think they had some issues with the funding and all. But see, all these are okay. But as you mentioned, like having a brand name and all, but still at the end of the day, the word of mouth still matters a lot. And I
Service matters. I mean, tomorrow, how will you face? I mean, there is basic empathy, there's basic civic sense, and thirdly, there is something called accountability. And if you do not have that as a CEO, as a worker in the company, you and I are honest people. Whenever we work for a venture or a company, we actually put our heart and soul in it so that tomorrow, when we face God, we know कि हमने मक्कारी का पैसा नहीं कमाया है. And here, if be it a support system, be it like the CEO of the company, I'm sure they also are aware, like being the Copcom and everyone. And see, communicators per se, ठीक है, we as journalists have the job to escalate issues and bring them to the public. But being a Copcom, you've got to tell your CEO that, this is what is going on LinkedIn, or this is what is going on in the articles, do something about this, because you cannot give PR or marketing to a failed product. आपने core issues ही नहीं handle किए, then how can you actually rely on people's trust? So I mean, this is pretty deplorable. And Pushpita, I really hope that Zoom takes cognizance of this. Zoom really, because, and with Spinny, I would say that Sachin Tendulkar is the brand ambassador. At least I have seen his hoardings in Gurgaon,
hmm,
endorsing the brand, and I've seen so many Spinny labels and everything. Be it a Byju's into EdTech, be it a
hmm,
Spinny space, be it a Zomato or a Swiggy into the food space, be it a Zoom car into the self-driven car space, I really, really feel that startups need to be there. Yes, and
hmm,
startups are going to crop up every second. Like you and I can today start a startup with no investment at all.
hmm.
But what do we do to actually regulate this? Because there is a digital India going on. There is a startup, the push to startups is going on. There are funds for AI and technology. I mean, as a journalist and a spectator and an industry watcher, what do you urge the government to do about this? Because I personally believe that without the commerce minister intervening, without some law coming in, this is a law and order issue. I mean, because this hampers the safety of people in the long run. It's not just about the service.
Yeah, talking about safety, because when I was doing my research and when I spoke to people, a couple of people also told me that there have been instances when their car have were used for some illegal purposes. So apparently police, because then their cars, registered in their name. So when they got stuck in some illegal thing, the police came to their place. So I really wonder if we can have some regulation on this, and if, and as I told you, like I read somewhere the whole model of renting out private cars for such commercial purposes. So it's not like Ola Uber, which has like yellow plate. So it's like the private vehicles being used in a way for commercial purposes, which is sort of, I think, not accepted in India, as I was telling you. If that is the case, then how come a company like Zoom flourished in India? I mean, so till the time they had their own cars and they were renting out their own cars, that was okay. So a lot of many people told me like when Zoom started off, they actually had their own cars which they used to rent out. But if now the situation has changed, now people like us also put out cars as and it's also not possible every time to check what is the legal, what is exactly the regulation. So when we are seeing we have a host, for example, when a lot of I see a lot many youngsters, they work as a part-time Rapido or Uber driver as bike rider, right? So now if something happens and then we got to know after really late, like okay, even just saying an example, till date we don't have any commercial number plate for bikes, but so a lot of many youngsters do that, right? Similarly, what I'm trying to mean here is that when we get into an ecosystem or when we trust a company, it's not always possible to see whether the company has actually uh, checked all the legalities which are needed. Or
No, absolutely. And I think, Pushpita, you open a Pandora's box when you mention Ola, Uber, Rapido, and InDrive. So I was reading an article by the Morning Context, and also it's reported in the Ken. And I personally feel that they do a brilliant job at exposing. I mean, they're
right.
fearless. I love reading them. I am a subscriber myself.
Hmm.
I've already connected with Harveen as well on occasions, and I've got many of my story references shamelessly from them. So, we see I then there are news that a Rapido driver has been molesting a woman. Now I myself take a bike and I've been told by so many that please don't take a bike. The bhaiyas can be bad. two
Hmm.
years I've been on bikes. 3 years I've been on bikes. My sister does bikes. She's a younger sister of mine. Lucknow में, Delhi में. We've done our share of bikes. And auto वाले भी harass कर सकते, cab वाले भी harass कर सकते.
Hmm.
Uber shot into fame because of a harassment case only.
Right.
But the fact of the matter here is the people have been good to me. That is probably my good kismat.
Hmm.
What
True.
if there is some kind of a loophole here? आप किसको पकड़ेंगे? Then there is an issue with InDrive. Number one, they have Russian roots. ठीक है, Russia is a friend of India. We don't really care, but yes, it's a little fishy business. And what they do is, suppose you as a Rapido driver also want to register on this thing.
Hmm.
You can submit the verification that Ola or Uber did. InDrive को अपनी मेहनत ही नहीं करनी पुलिस वेरिफिकेशन में. I mean, what kind of a high-headedness is this? Like, what a marriage of convenience these guys are having. And I mean, Uber, Ola, Rapido, what are their stringent processes? I mean, what are they doing for resolutions? Obviously, they have a lot of in-app features and everything. I mean,
Hmm.
this is a nuisance, even though we have good services. I personally feel that if not tackled well, this is
Hmm.
creating a societal nuisance, because
True.
you can give us technology. Since 2016, India is very empowered when it comes to technology. We're gonna
Hmm.
complete decade of this in 2 years. 8 साल से हर किसी के हाथ में phone है.
Huh.
I personally always advocate some sort of technical literacy before
Definitely.
you are, because like we at Media Shala, where I teach, we actually tell our kids how to actually post content, how to believe if the content is right or wrong. We personally believe that internet and technology needs to be regulated. Not
Hmm.
everyone can use it. It's the same thing as if you drive a car, you're going to the hospital probably, or you're going to get some groceries or some shopping. What if you mow somebody down in the process? You need a driving school, right? You need a driving
Right.
license. So that tomorrow the authorities can also be pulled up कि इसको कैसे दे दिया? ये तो
Hmm.
चलाना ही नहीं जानता. Same way, I mean, there has been a lot of discourse about how social media needs to be regulated, but in the same breath, I believe these auto apps,
Hmm.
probably like the delivery instance, right, where somebody's ice cream had a human finger. I
Right.
mean, where is the process? Where is the delivery process? You want to make things easier. And Pushpita, because we've been industry watchers, Paytm के साथ यही हुआ था. I
Hmm.
personally feel, and I would have no qualms in facing Vidya Shekhar Sharma and saying this. I've met him at a couple of events as well. He always had a high-headed attitude where he used to be like, हम तो चाहते हैं कि अमेरिका हम पे छापा मारे. कहते हैं ना, थोड़ा सोच समझ के बोलो, सरस्वती मुंह में बैठ जाती है. This actually happened. His PPLB got shut down. There was a lot of ruckus, and अभी भी
Hmm.
पेटीएम का नहीं पता, but they're not able to revive the way they were. I mean,
Hmm.
because whenever a founder tries to evade the rules, obviously the government says, यार हम पे मत लाओ rules, please. Self regulate कर लो, bodies बना लो, हमसे
Hmm.
support ले लो. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we want you guys to know your shiz. Like you should be the person in charge.
Hmm.
But यहाँ पर the owners, I feel, are so profit driven or so impatient. Like they have a conviction that what I'm doing is the best. Is the
Hmm.
same thing as you're gonna smoke a cigarette. Your mom is gonna keep telling you कि please मत पी, फेफड़े खराब हो जाएंगे. But somehow like I won't be affected that much. It's releasing my stress. I'm looking cool. The same way I feel, be it a Vidya Shekhar Sharma, a Bhavish Agarwal, a Baiju Ravindran, and Zoom's CEO. He's some Greg guy.
Greg
He's an
Moran.
American guy. Yes, and Ritesh has been fair, but हाँ ठीक है, Oyo के भी issues थे बीच में. There were a lot of
Hmm.
issues. So all of these owners, and I mean, Zepto is raising the funds left, right, and center. But still, I mean, there have been issues. Like Dunzo went down so badly, and I mean,
Hmm.
I think I was one of the journalists who put the log in their fire. So I mean, Money Control did a great job at that, good or bad, I don't know. But हाँ, they called out what was going wrong.
Hmm.
So the fact of the matter being that if today you and I
Hmm.
turn to entrepreneurship, like be it a Mama Earth, be it a sugar, that is cosmetics, you are
Hmm.
playing with somebody's skin.
Hmm.
Being in auto, you're playing with somebody's safety. Being in education, you're playing with somebody's life. So it's very, very important to keep your product paramount. अगर
Hmm.
आपका product सही नहीं है, legalities and regulations से delay
Hmm.
होगा. See, that is the point about democracy also, right?
Right.
That it might take time, but it's not going to be an automatic decision कि हाँ मैंने बोला सही है, because you and I will believe in our product. You
Hmm.
and I have fought
Definitely.
with the editors कि हमने जो लिखा है that is पत्थर की लकीर, that is the
Right.
mark of stone. And we've had bad squabbles. You know, I still remember your story. It went out. You had said कि मुझे नाम नहीं चाहिए अपना. I had mentioned the names of the people who were happy with the product or not happy with the product on their consent. I remember there was the Nasdaq listing of Zoomcar, and I had like I am a very emotional journalist. I say मैं ना बड़ी catchy ऐसे headlines लिखती हूँ. So I wrote this headline: Zoomcar silently lists on Nasdaq amid issues that it hasn't resolved. And my editor goes like, "What are you doing here? Like, are you trying to run down a company? If I get a lawsuit because of you, I'm gonna run you down." So that is the safety that editors play around. But
Right.
you and I, we know how passionate we can be when we are in a story. We can be very saddle headed, you know, मतलब कि हम जो सोच रहे हैं वही सही है. And I think that is the same mindset with a company's owner, because at the end of
Hmm.
the day, humans like you and me. But here, you know, when you're with a company, you are giving employment to families, you know, it's like 300 people, 400 people,
Hmm.
3,000, 4,000, 5,000. I mean, when you cut jobs or when you face issues like this, tomorrow you and I are working in Zoom, and
Hmm.
a Pushpita Day or a Gauri Joshi are doing this podcast, and the family catches this on YouTube and like अरे तेरी कंपनी के बारे में बोल रहे हैं ऐसे, तो
Hmm.
यहाँ पे तो मेरी reputation भी stake पे गई ना
True.
कि like if the organization you work for or I work for, if we're tarnished in the public, number one, there has to be a reason, misunderstanding or whatever. And number two, there is somebody who has to answer for it.
True.
So, I mean, I really feel that if the authorities are watching this, I will tag the commerce minister when I retweet this. I would really want them to take cognizance of these issues, the FM to take cognizance of these issues, because एंड एफएम से तो ना मुझे बार बार अपील करनी है. मैडम इज डूइंग ग्रेट फॉर द इंडियन इकोनॉमी, बट टेकिंग अ ह्यूज चंक ऑफ योर एंड माय पॉकेट. उस हिसाब से ना आई थिंक वी रियली नीड some kind of returns. We are making an investment. We need the returns. We need infrastructure. Infra में तो I don't want to start about Gurgaon. आधी city डूबी हुई है. I go there
Right.
every day for work. It's hard to travel there. We are as India progressing so much when it comes to startups.
True.
Where is the regulation? I really feel that अभी ना रोकथाम लगानी पड़ेगी थोड़ा सा. We have to give a lagam to things. Otherwise, there will be another Pushpita and another car that's going to be kind of run down by the traffic. Another podcast and another inactive action. Like अब तो यार protests भी होते हैं, क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है? Protests on
Hmm.
somebody's life. I mean, India as a country is the most populated, but I really
Hmm.
feel that here the issues don't have any kind of gravity. It's just one day of buzz
I
and then
think
it's gone.
things do happen, but at a very slow pace. I mean, I was having a discussion with somebody, like, see, so somebody asked me, like, so I was out on the protest. So when this Arjiga protest has been happening for last 1 week, so on 14th, I was a part of the protest myself. So one of my friends asked me, like, you really think something will change overnight? So even after Nirbhaya, so many protests happened. It took so long. See, I completely agree because population, when we say we are the most populated country, with population also comes a lot of things that need to be resolved. Things won't happen. So we have this issue. If we look at probably even if we took like one crore के problem each, उसके बाद भी probably 140 issues आ जाएंगे. True. So things won't
Very
happen
true.
over. Things won't happen overnight. See, when people ask me कि you really think कि एक रात की कैंडल मार्च से सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, नहीं, ठीक नहीं होगा. Even I know that. Also, when we talk about things on social media, will things change overnight? No, I think. But even this small step, when Delhi government has banned it, even if it's just a state government, but किसी ने तो किया ना.
But is it in action? I mean, have you ever tried booking a Zoom in Delhi?
What I got to know, like I tried right after that, I have to check it once again. it does still works in Noida and Gurgaon, but in Port Delhi it doesn't work.
चलो,
We are
that's good then.
so
Loopholes तो निकालेंगे लोग, देखिए loopholes तो निकालेंगे, but still I mean a ban in Delhi is a great
yeah.
one.
See, maybe people will say कि सिर्फ state government ने ही ban किया है, किसी ने तो किया ना. See, things won't happen overnight. But अगर इतने लोग complain कर रहे, people, I mean, one government has taken into cognizance that okay, with the model they are following is flawed. There are so many legal loopholes, so there should be some action. So even I met some officials from the transport department, and they told me like we are taking into actions. We were even looking invest. I mean, they are looking into it. So agar and if Delhi is taking into action, probably even after a few years of things might be streamlined. But again, आज मेरे साथ ये हुआ है तो probably I am relating it to it way more than any other person. So it will take time probably, but I really hope it happens someday or the other. It's okay because India being the populated, I mean, most populated country, things happen slowly, but I still think that it's important to have the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
It's
our job will be undone if we do not voice it out. So, Pushpita, what happened to your car finally?
I took it out from that garage. I paid 30,000 and took it out from that garage. I took it to another garage from where I do all the daily stuff. I mean, whatever I have to do. They checked and they were like, okay, so we you have to change this and even after that, I think I paid around 1 lakh 80 or 2 lakh. All that happened in installments, and because that person knows me for a very long
Yes.
time, I have been visiting their garage for like last since and time I have been in NC and I have been visiting them. And of course, they didn't charge me 3.5 lakh and all. They brought it down to below 2 lakh or near around 2 lakh. But I still had to pay and I didn't get so. Also, Zoom has not cleared the payment for that 1 day booking. So my car was, I mean, my car was booked for one whole day, like almost for 12 hours, if not more. Uh, from 9:30 in the morning till actually more from 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning till officially till 1 a.m. And I haven't yet received the money also. So neither they have given me the compensation, nor they have transferred the money which I was supposed
Paid
to
your
get.
bills, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I kept hearing this kind of stories from others also, like how they have not been able to get the money from Zoom, like even for their booking and all. So let's see. I mean, if one government has taken into cognizance, I'm hopeful that sooner or the later, uh, the government of India will also consider this, or also at least the state governments where Zoom is operational. So I believe Zoom is still not there in all the states. It's I think Maharashtra, Karnataka, Delhi, and a few other states with, where Zoom is working. Let's hope so. But important is like people bring it out. And I'm glad that people are actually talking about the problem. So today when
So
I
I'm very happy, Pushpita, that you started the conversation. Otherwise, it would have been a lost case. It actually would have been a lost case. So I do believe, like as we near the end of this session, that you had to suffer. You had to actually suffer financially. There was a lot of mental agony and stress, I'm sure.
definitely
And but इस समुद्र मंथन से आपने वो विश पिया, बट कुछ ना कुछ फल तो निकलना ही चाहिए, is what
hmm,
I genuinely believe. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for sharing your audio with me. We have also touched the entire auto industry when it comes to the model of rentals.
hmm,
And this is something that I personally believe should reach some kind of legislation. Pushpita, you being a journalist, I being a media literacy educator and a journalist, I will also be putting this up on Twitter and on LinkedIn. I would urge you also to please push this as much as possible, because this is a collective effort to call out somebody who's doing wrong to us, could have been possibly doing wrong to many others, and calls for legislation, which is actually very long due. I mean,
hmm,
तेरा ही दुरुस्त है, but आए तो सही. That is
exactly.
probably the kind of conclusion that we're looking at here. Thank you once again for
Most welcome.
everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much.